The street seller who became a millionaire. On a cold winter morning, a young boy named Daniel stood at the corner of a busy street with a small wooden cart. His hands were red from the biting wind, his shoes were worn out, and his jacket had more holes than buttons. Yet, in his eyes there was a quiet fire, a dream bigger than the city that rushed past him. Daniel was only 12 when his father passed away. His mother, too weak to work, tried her best to take care of Daniel and his younger sister. But food was always short, and bills piled up like mountains they could never climb. There were days when the family ate nothing but stale bread and water. Still, Daniel carried an invisible strength. Every morning, before the sun rose, he would load his cart with apples, bananas, and cheap snacks that he bought from the wholesale market. With a tired smile, he shouted to strangers, "Fresh fruits, $1, only $1." Most people ignored him. Some walked past without even a glance. A few would throw a coin, not out of kindness, but just to get rid of him. Many times, Daniel stood under the pouring rain, clothes soaked, teeth chattering, but he refused to leave. The pain of rejection. Daniel remembered one particular day when he tried selling outside an office building. He held out an apple to a man in a sharp suit. The man sneered and said, "Get out of here, street kid. You'll never be more than this." The words cut deeper than any blade. That night, Daniel cried silently so his mother wouldn't hear. But as he wiped his tears, he whispered to himself, "I will prove them wrong. One day, I will not just sell apples, I will own the building they work in." A ray of hope. Daniel didn't just sell fruit. He observed. He watched how people behaved, what they bought, when the streets were crowded, and which locations brought more sales. He started changing his strategy. Instead of just waiting for customers, he approached them with a story. "Sir, these apples are the same my mother gave me when I was sick. They kept me strong. Try one. You'll love it." People began to listen. Slowly, his sales improved. After school, yes, he insisted on studying at night, Daniel would read books about business from a free public library. Words like investment, profit, marketing became his new language. He didn't just dream of escaping poverty. He studied the way out. The turning point. When Daniel turned 18, he saved enough money, just $1,000, to rent a tiny shop in a forgotten alley. It was nothing fancy, just a wooden counter and shelves. But for him, it was a palace. He called it Hope Fruits, because that's what kept him alive. Hope. The first few months were brutal. Many days he went home without selling much. Sometimes he couldn't even pay rent. But he refused to quit. He treated every customer with respect, greeted them with a smile, and slowly built trust. One afternoon, a woman walked into his shop. She was impressed by Daniel's politeness and the way he handled customers. She asked him if he could supply fruits weekly to her small cafe. That was his first business contract. From there, opportunities opened like doors he once thought were locked forever. Growth and struggles. Over the years, Daniel expanded. He bought another shop, then another. He hired workers who were once like him, street sellers with nothing but broken shoes and big dreams. But success did not come without challenges. There were times when suppliers cheated him, competitors spread lies, and even trusted employees betrayed him. Each failure felt like a punch in the chest. But Daniel remembered his promise. "I will prove them wrong." He worked harder,
reinvested profits, and used his street smarts to outthink competition.
The millionaire moment. By the time Daniel was 35, Hope Fruits had grown into a chain of supermarkets spread across the city. His net worth crossed $1 million. The same boy who once begged strangers to buy an apple now sat in boardrooms making deals with international suppliers. One day, as he signed papers for a new store inside a tall office building, Daniel paused. He looked at the shiny glass walls and remembered the man who once told him, "You'll never be more than this." Now, Daniel owned not just the store, but also the building. Tears filled his eyes, not of pain, but of gratitude. Giving back. Daniel never forgot his roots. He built a foundation to help street children with education and food. Every month, he visited his shops, not as a boss, but as a friend to his workers. He told them, "I was once where you are now. If I can climb, you can climb too." He also gave jobs to single mothers, homeless teenagers, and anyone willing to work hard but denied a chance by society. The lesson. Daniel's life became a living message. Poverty is not a prison. Failure is not the end. Rejection is not destiny. Dreams do come true, but only if you keep walking through the storm. From the corner of a street to the corner office of a skyscraper, Daniel's story proved that no beginning is too small, no dream too big. So the next time you see a street seller, remember, behind those tired eyes may live the next millionaire.